In Chapter 5, we'll be working with the time value of money. And in Section 5.1, we'll be working with three different types of interest. Simple interest, which is interest that is not compounded. Compound interest, which is compounded a finite number of times, weekly or monthly or quarterly. And then interest that's compounded continuously, which is compounded an infinite number of times per year. Now, in the real world, it may seem like compound interest is really the only one that matters because your savings account, your credit card, your car loan, your mortgage if you have one, all of those things use compound interest. So it may not seem like simple interest is really all that relevant, but it actually is. And so we'll have a lot of problems on simple interest because simple interest is the basis of all of those calculations. And in fact, if we wanted to calculate 1 month's worth of interest on your credit card, or how much you pay in interest for 1 month on a mortgage, we would use simple interest to do that. Identifying the different types of problems in this unit is sometimes tricky. So continuously compounded interest is the easy one. It will say that it's interest compounded continuously every single time. Interest that's compounded will always tell you how often it's compounded. So it will say compounded weekly or compounded monthly or something like that. Simple interest just won't say anything at all, but often people want to make it compound interest, especially if it says annual interest. So that's one of the things that people get tripped up on. Annual interest is not the same as interest compounded annually. Annual interest is the only type of interest we'll deal with in this class. We'll always be given how much interest for 1 year. So if a problem says that you have an account that earns annual interest, and that's all it says, that's going to be a simple interest problem. Now if it says you have interest compounded annually, that makes it a compound interest problem. So for simple interest and continuously compounded interest, we'll have formulas for those two calculations. And that's because there's no graphing calculator function for those. For everything else in this unit, we'll have graphing calculator functions, and so we'll use the graphing calculator for all of those calculations. The last thing that we'll look at in this unit is effective rate. And effective rate allows you to compare two accounts directly. So if you're looking at two different accounts and deciding where to put your money, maybe one has a lower interest rate and a higher number of compounding periods, and another one has a lower number of compounding periods and a higher rate. It's difficult to look at those two and know which one would be better. So what effective rate does is it calculates an equivalent 1 year simple rate. That way we can compare the two accounts directly. So those are the things that we're going to look at in section 5.1. I'll let you get to it.